you got a little vision that you want to see through, the Intentional Podcast is the one for you. I thought we were done with the Pride series, but apparently there's an extra Monday in June. So here we go again. This final Pride episode for this June 2026, we are going to be discussing Mourning, the traditional fairy tale. Now, in life, since probably the age of 5, we are taught to believe in fairy tales, look forward to a fairy tale to complete our lives. But like my book, Lose to Love, says, fairy tales, they're just a fantasy. The better truth that you want to live is in reality. So go for that instead, because it's sweeter. I want to read you the introduction of my book, Lose to Love. Since the beginning of time, fairy tales have portrayed love as the ultimate prize of life, a key that we must all acquire to complete and unlock our stories for a happy end. But I'm here to tell you that love has no resolution or ending, simply a journey. Realizing that love is deeper than a single emotion and more like a sunset valley of highs and lows is the reason that I'm choosing to share this book with you again refreshed. From discovering true love within myself to accepting new and healthier ways to embrace it from other people, Lose to Love guides you through my adventure of self-discovery and how I have navigated heartbreak to succeed at love today. Failure in love can feel inevitable when you're flying high, but so is success if you're willing to reach for it. This is my story. I hope you find clarity in your own reading these lessons. Buckle in, the ride is about to begin. The standard heteronormative idea of a fairy tale comes from a lot of old school thinking about the man's going to come and save the woman and they're going to run away off into the sunset together. And while that is a beautiful, beautiful thought to have, it can also be quite destructive to put all that power on one person. And when you are navigating queer relationships, that power dynamic is completely different because there is no designated role for the man or the woman. Yes, one can be more masculine and the other could be more feminine, but in traditional queer relationships, the oxymoron of that, traditional and queer, sure, you know what, it gonna be a tradition, period. But it is typically that the man will, provide and the woman or the feminine one will, look after the kids. But we are challenged in these relationships because here, there could be two men or two women. So where do you go with the masculinity and feminine energy? Well, you have to balance it out. That is how the house is going to stay up, if you know what I mean. I no longer idolize the traditional fairy tale anymore because for me, I want to be in a relationship where the energy is balanced or it can fluctuate and it's okay. I don't want that pressure of, having to always be the most masculine thing out there because who am I doing it for? I think it's quite destructive even in a traditional straight relationship to idealize these fantasies because at the end of the day, you're not allowing yourself to expand and grow. And that is the whole purpose of life. You want to continue growing. And to do that, you have to expand your horizon. And if that is branching into your femininity or your masculinity, then do it. Because at the end of the day, you need to grow to keep living. Like my book, Lose to Love on Amazon says. A huge part of my life's trauma comes down to people telling me that I could never have the fairy tale because I was queer or they assumed I was queer. But as I've gotten older, I've really had to learn to make my own definition of what a fairy tale is. Is a fairy tale simply a relationship? Because to me, I've lived multiple fairy tales where there's been love and healthy relationships, but it's never been that sunset type of love. I want a fairy tale in my life to mean something that is healthy, something that I can continuing to find myself in and grow as a person, but also I want the other person to grow as a person. I can't be the only person that is making changes and growing in a relationship because yes, I believe self-growth is important, but in a relationship dynamic, both parties have to agree to grow together because at the end of the day, a relationship is a joint effort to sustain and hold on to. And while I love the idea of falling in love, a lot of people, and I was one of these people for a while, they wanted to fall in love, but they didn't want the consequences or the pressure of the other parts of falling in love, which is, caring beyond yourself, making time beyond yourself to keep these relationships afloat and thrive with them. Most recently, I've had a close family member of mine get into a relationship. And while it's been very eye-opening for me to witness him, enter this new chapter of his life, a part of me has kind of had to mourn again that reality that I will never have that fairy tale. And that's okay, because I'm going to have my own that is going to be perfect for me. And while I'm so happy for him, watching the reaction from other close people around me observe this, it makes me hope that one day my partner gets that same reaction and redemption for all the times people have told me I could never have a fairy tale like that. But it's definitely been a pill to swallow. Has it been a hard pill to swallow? I don't know. As a queer person observing love from the outskirts, please don't ever compare yourselves to these fairy tales, because again, your fairy tale will be perfect for you. Their fairy tale is perfect for them. And while it's widely accepted to be in a straight relationship, just think about how it's going to feel inside to live one that your heart is in and not just your head. Because sure, we can, conform, fit in, live that white picket fence fantasy, but isn't one that feels better and actually is more authentic to you better to live? For me personally, absolutely, girl. I can't do no fake shit anymore. No, no, no. Since I came out, the biggest journey I've had to accept and redeem for myself is believing that I deserve love. And I really, truly believe that I had to lose it to find it again. Hence why my book is called Lose to Love, because that's where my power lies, in surrendering to life. There's a whole different meaning of losing and surrendering, because a lot of people make it seem like giving up is weakness. But to me, the strongest thing I've ever done in life is lose, because I had to put all that faith back into trusting that whatever was meant for me will come back to me. And it did, tenfold. So if you want to hear my story or find your own way through this journey, witnessing another person's, get a copy of Lose to Love on Amazon now, exclusively. Mwah. Again, please, please, please keep your fairy tale sacred and believe. Fairy tales are always cute, but reality is always cuter. I hope you learned something through this episode. I hope I've been intentional. Thank you for watching this Pride series of Intentional. Until next time, guys, greater things are always to come. See ya. If you got a little vision that you want to see through, the Intentional Podcast, the one for you.